Jim and I started a band when we were in college at USF together. And we had the opportunity to go into a recording studio, and we recorded some songs, a couple of original songs and some cover songs. And that experience of going through the process of recording your own music and creating something from scratch just pushed every button in for both of us. And from that point on, we both knew if we ever had the chance to have our own recording studio, that's what we wanted to do.
I mean, the first real metal band that we recorded, it became a band called Savatage. They were Avatar when we worked with them. They became Savatage, and now they're called Trans-Siberian Orchestra. And we still work with them. And my first exposure to them was, there was a radio station called the 95 YNF Pirate Station. There was a rock radio station in Tampa. They did a local album called the Pirate Album. And this band, Avatar, a bunch of really young guys, even younger than we were because we were very young, they actually had 2 songs make the cut on the album. We recorded those songs and just hit it off with the guys in the band. That probably, doing that plus their first 2 albums kind of opened us up to metal music as a market for us, because they were kind of getting told by other studios, well, metal's just garbage, it doesn't matter, we don't have to try very hard. And we thought, you know, actually, trying hard might be good, and maybe making it good would be good. So we worked really hard on the stuff, and so that wasn't anything close to death metal, but it was the first big metal band. I don't think we really saw any death metal until the first version of Obituary. Right. So that would have been Executioner in 1985. There's a likelihood that what we were doing at the time sort of influenced us as a center, but that's just a part of it. It was a phenomena of the area, and we're just kind of involved in that. It wasn't because of us, but we contributed to it probably. From our way of thinking, it was as big a surprise as anything else. I mean, we're into lots of kinds of music, both of us are. For us, it was a situation, like I said about Savatage, where, you know, just because they may do a style of music that nobody has heard before doesn't mean you shouldn't do a good job on it and really try to get them what they want. So there was a certain, there must have been a camaraderie, you know, amongst all those guys that had nothing to do with us, but so it made the area sort of a cauldron. That's the right word, isn't it?
Cauldron.
A cauldron.
I think it's totally appropriate. I think part of the philosophy of this, the way we went about designing and building this space, is that we did consider kind of a new paradigm in recording. And we wanted this to be a much more creative and inspirational space than a traditional recording studio can offer. In designing, the concept of this studio space is that the engineer and producer are in the room with the artists, not separated by glass. And that really ups the level of communication between artist and engineer in a way that when you have that separation, that physical barrier, it's really difficult to overcome at times. And we have found that to be dead on with the clients that we've worked with so far.
That's we sort of evolved. So there's an element of the home recording method that people have to use at home that's really cool. And we've tried to incorporate some of that here. And so the comfort level for the musicians, we think, is much higher. It's a lot less like being in a doctor's office with a microphone. You know, this is more like being in a home environment, except that we have all the technology you could ever want from a big studio. So it's a synergy. That's good. It's a synergy of what we have always done in the past, the big professional studio, and the advantages of home recording. I'd be willing to bet like several dollars that this will never get to his ears, But one of the other little inspirations for this room and the method of recording here is we're both big fans of Peter Gabriel, and if you've ever seen his studio in the UK, Real World Studios, it's the first place I ever saw with an SSL console in the middle of a retracting space. And if Peter Gabriel likes it, it's got to be cool. So that's been in the back of our mind while we started figuring out how to actually pull it off.